Hello everyone. Now that I've got it figured out, I've got this really cool bezel to show you on this really cute cab that I have. I'm going to change the beads in the back a little bit, I think, but I've ultimately got it done. There's half tilas. You'll need some 2.5mm bicones, 4mm bicones, 15 O's, and a handful of 11 O's as well. Delicas would be best. And it's a nice rectangular shape. Mine happens to be agate, and it measures. Let me find a ruler. It measures in inches, 1.5 inches by almost 1.25 inches. So it's a nice size, and it's a very simple, clean little bezel that doesn't cover up the stone too much on the front. So I'm going to get my stuff together and we'll get started. Okay, I got everything ready, and we are going to need, I used to have the measurement in millimeters for this, but I lost it. Anyway, I gave you the measurement in inches for the cab. Now, there are 39 half tilas in the project. There are 4 4mm bicones. Just separate these out. 4 of those, and 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 31 2.5mm bicones. For my half tilas, I'm using just a crystal clear, and for the 2.5mm bicone, I've got, I think it's fire opal. If not, it's a topaz. I think it's more of a topaz color. And the 4mm are a very soft, like a champagne. They're not clear kind of color. And I'm using, for my 11s, I'm going to use, I got these from Red Panda in a Monday mix, so they're in a little vial like this. And they are Delicas, and they are DB1681. It's like a silver-lined honey mustard kind of color. And for my 15s, I'm going to use a silver-lined champagne kind of color. That's what I'm going to use. So I don't want them super clear or anything. And I'm going to use some suffix, which is ultimately the same thing as Fireline, if you've got it handy, whatever you want. Oh, here's the sticker for the agate cabochon. It is, oh, it doesn't even have the measurement on it. Look at that. It just gives you the price, which was a lot. But it's a banded agate cab, which I've been hoarding forever. I've had it for like 3 years. So now's the time to use it, I think. Anyway, I'm going to string, probably 1.5 yards or so, because I hate running out. It drives me nuts. Don't like it. And for picking up our first row, which will be the half tilas, I'm going to string on an old bent needle. That's, I think it's a 12. For the rest of the weaving, I will change my needle out and use a shorter one because I just don't need a long one. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is you just start and end with a half tila. So I'm gonna string, how did that go? There were 7 across the short side and 11 along the long sides. So I'm going to start with a half tila, an 11, a half tila, an 11. Four. 6. 7. Okay, so now I've got enough for the one short side. Now what you're going to do, instead of adding an 11 to space out the corners, we need a little more tightness there, so I'm going to just skip that and just add an 11, or add a tila right against the other tila, and you're going to do that for all your corners. So now I'm going to add, as before, 11 tila until I have 11 for the lengthwise side, and then repeat with the double half tila, go across this way, double half tila, and add 11 after having 7, and that'll give you your foundational row. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll be right back. Hi everybody, I am back. After stringing my foundational row, I actually miscounted originally. You need 36 half tilas, so that's not bad. It's a few less beads, a few fewer beads. And now what you do is bring everything down, leave a nice tail so that you can knot everything up the way you want later. Don't lose anything on the other side. There we go. Tie a knot, as you might have expected. I like having a tail so that I can hold on to it if I need to, if I'm in a tight spot. And now what I like to do is go through this row one more time, because if you don't, it's loose and it is really hard to work with. I know that because I didn't reinforce it for when I was designing, so that it would be easier to take apart and reassemble if I needed to, and it was a pain to try and work with it. So for those of you who want to make this and have it not fall apart, that's the way to do it. So just go around and through. Come on. I'm using a bent, stupid needle that I grabbed. But I'm not changing it until I get to the next part. I'm more stubborn than a needle. Okay, I'm basically back around, almost. Where am I? There I am. Okay, this is sturdy now. It's already kind of wanting to take shape as a rectangle. So now I'm going to come up through, backwards through the top hole of the tila. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and remember what I did. Let me think about it. Right, I remember now. So what we're going to do is go through, I'm here where these two tilas are together, and I'm going to just pass through the second one. Because right now we're going to be on the back of the bezel. So what I'm going to do is just go around, skipping the corners where there are two tilas butted together like this. Then you can just go through both before adding another bead, another 11, like that, so that we can reinforce the corners later. Oh, I'm such a liar. No, that's untrue. Untrue. Take that 11 off. There. What we want to do is add a 15 there, because that is so much smaller. Yeah, here we go. And now you should be able to add 11s all the way across, and a 15 when you get to the corner. Skip through both tilas, add an 11, and then back to add a 15 here, and then back to 11s all the way around. I will show you when I get mine finished, and you'll see. Okay, so I've gone around and gone through all of my tilas with my 11s between them, except the corners where there are two half tilas butted together. Here I used a 15 before passing through both, and another 15 on the other side, and then carrying on. I did that for all four corners. Now we're ready to proceed with our right angle weave. So what I'm going to do is take, and for those of you who don't know right angle weave very well or something, don't worry, this is just your fundamental right angle weave that's slightly modified. It's not harder, it's just slightly modified. And if you can do this, you can do anything with right angle weave. Cubic right angle weave's a little more challenging, but we're not going to deal with that today. So anyway, what I did was I picked up on my short needle, my short John James needle, it's a size 10. It's a short, what they call a short beading needle, because I only ever pick up, you know, this is 5 beads right here, and I still have room on my needle, so I like short needles. Anyway, what we're gonna do is go through, let's see if I can bend it here, there we go. Go through your 15, your 2 half tilas, and your 15 on the other side, and pull. Okay, now you have that. To make it right angle weave, what you're going to do is come up through the 2 11s on the side furthest from you, where you're coming out. Alright, and that kind of stands those 2 beads up to make like a wall. A lot of times people refer to their right angle weave by walls. So this is, you know, a bottom wall, this is a side wall, and then we're going to put on another 2 sides. That's how to keep it kind of straight in your head. So because we're coming out this way, all stitches must be at a right angle to your previous ones. So that means we have to go this way. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up 1 2.5 millimeter bicone and 2 11s. And we're going to let them go down. Go through the 11 between the tila and come back through towards the last 2 11s you added. There. Now it looks weird right now, but it'll straighten up in a minute. Now what we do is come back up through these 2 11s from before. Okay. And then you have to pass through your bicone and your 2 11s that you added most recently. Once you get the hang of it, you'll see it's not as multi-stepped as it seems to be. Then you have to go through the next half tila in line and the next 11 from that row. Pull and repeat. You take 2, because we're coming out of an 11 going that way, we have to make a right angle, so we have to come this way, which is up, so we're making a wall that comes up this way, and then the side wall that comes this way, and the beads that are on this side are always bicones, so we're going to add one of our 2.5 millimeter bicones like that, and then we're going to go down through the 2 bicone or 2 delicas from before, and then through the half tila and this and the delica, pull and come back through the delicas again this way to the side. Okay, and now you'll start seeing that it makes these squares. Right? So do that all the way around, stopping at the corners. When you get to the corners, make sure that you skip over both half tilas and you're adding a 4 millimeter bicone to pass over this expanse right here. But that's the only difference for this round, okay? I'll come back when I've made my round and you'll see how to finish it. Okay, I've made it around my setting, and now I'm down to the last part of the right angles. So I've got this pair of 11s and this pair, the very first pair we put on. Now all you gotta do is pick up one bicone and cross over into that one pair of 11s that the very first pair that you added, like that, and pull, and that completes your row. So now what you want to do is just give a pass through thing so that it stays, and we have the front and part of the back of our bezel. It looks like a weird amoeba right now, but it'll straighten out. So what we gotta do is go back to the bottom hole of the half tila, and come out this way, like this, from that 11, and or you can head in this direction. I think that's what I'll do, because I'm right-handed. So I'll just head over here. Okay. Now what we want to do is start doing like a bit of webbing back here. So what I want to do is, there you go, add 2 15s, 1 11, and 2 15s. Come here. So you've got these five beads on your needle. Let them drop. And we're going to skip an 11 and 2 half tilas and go through this 11. And pull, and you'll have a little peak like that. And do that all the way around. In the corners, like before, the corners are kind of special. So when you get to a corner, add your 2 15s, your 1 11 in the middle, and your 2 15s, and just pass over these 2 half tilas, and that should be just fine. So do that and meet me back here. Okay, so I went all the way around with my little spikes, and I'm gonna step up. I'm coming out of an 11 right here. So I'm gonna step up through these 2 15s and into the middle 11 of each spike, or this particular spoke here. Pull through. Okay. Now, if you have any experience with netting, you'll know what to do next. But if not, it's okay. What we're going to do is we're going to grab 3 beads now. We're going to decrease to 3. So we're going to grab 1 15, 1 11, and 1 15. And then go through the next 11 that's in your previous row. That's why it's nice to put a different color bead as your center bead, so that you don't have to count every time. You can just go through. And the 11s are a little bit easier with multiple passes than the 15s are. So there you go. We're going to get these little triangles happening now. And just go around until you finish that. You will end, your needle should be coming out here, out of this first 15 that we came through in the row. Sorry, that's fuzzy. And then we are likely going to have to go around one more time with just one bead to cinch everything nice and tight. So I'm going to go off camera now and I'm going to do my row of 3 and we'll see where we're at when I get back. Okay, I've gone around. I'm coming out of, sorry I'm sitting funny here. I'm going through this last 11 here, pulling, and it's all going to start to tighten up now around the back. So now what we're going to do is step up and go through the first group of 3 beads that we added. We're going to go through the first 15 and the second bead, which is the 11. Again, these 15s have really small holes. I'm not clear why. Smaller than normal. There we go. So that's getting tight now, which is what we want. But I think to be safe, I'm going to go around and add 1 11, I think will be good. 1 11, like so. So pick up 1, go through the 11 of the next group of 3, come on. There we go. Like that. Pull it, and you're gonna get this net thing going on around the back. Okay, so that's enough for the back now. It's nice and snug. When I pull on it, it kind of folds up like that, which is fine. Now I'm gonna go down to the through the netting like this. It doesn't really matter how you do it, just so long as you do it. And, you know, everything is hidden away. Use some pliers. Ouch. Got poked. Okay, through here, come up, and I'm gonna go through this corner bicone here. Let's slip this puppy in. Just kind of hold it as best you can anyway, where it should be, where the corner beads are. That's why using different corner beads is pretty sweet, because you can easily identify where the corners are, which is like this. Feels like it's in a basket right now. So I'll use 15s and just pass through the 2.5 mil bicones like that. Simply like that, just to close the gaps and cinch everything in. Okay, that's all you're going to do all the way around. No tricks, nothing fancy, just 15 in between each bead. And I will be right back. Okay, I've added my 15s and I added the cab and it's sitting in there nicely now. There's the back. The reason the back is covered quite a bit is because there's virtually no covering on the front. So I needed to put the structure somewhere, so it ended up on the back. And that's why there's so much coverage. So now what I think I will do is simply reinforce everything by going through it as much as I can, tying knots everywhere, and you know, all that standard procedure. I think I'll go through the whole round first, and then tie half-hitch knots everywhere, and then I should be all done. And it's kind of pretty. I think it shows off the agate slice nicely. Different colors going on and whatnot. So that's what I'm going to do, and I will come back and show you the very end. So I'll see you soon. Here it is, guys. I finished it. I finished the bezel and I added a loop of beads and a pinch bail. So this thing is ready to go. Be strung on a string of beads, some silver chain, ball chain, whatever. There's the back, all netted up. And all you see on the front are the pretty bicones and the beautiful cab, of course. I think it turned out just fine. Anyway, if you like this, go ahead and make one and show me what you did. I'm totally excited. And if you'd like to see this channel grow and thrive, don't forget to like and subscribe. So I'll see you very soon, I promise. Bye, guys.